Well, good afternoon, everyone. For the last 3.5 years, my partners in the General Assembly and I have worked to right this state's fiscal ship and restore our focus on uplifting working families and meeting our obligations to the taxpayers of this state. We've received credit rating upgrades validating the work that's been done. I'm pleased to announce that today, leaders in both chambers have come to an agreement on yet another responsible, balanced budget. Because of our focus on fiscal balance, this budget will provide over $1.8 billion in tax relief to Illinois residents, while at the same time restoring $1 billion to our state's long-depleted rainy day fund, decreasing our net pension liability by more than $1 billion, and continuing to pay down short-term debts and unpaid bills. Illinoisans will benefit from $1 billion in tax relief at the pump, in the supermarket checkout, and in their property tax bills. On top of that, we are expanding the Earned Income Credit, sending direct checks to working families, and providing back-to-school tax relief for families and teachers. We're also doubling down on our unprecedented investments in public safety, including funding the largest state police cadet class in state history and dedicating the most ever resources to tackling the root causes of violence. And of course, just 2 weeks ago today, we committed to pay down $4.1 billion in debt, saving taxpayers hundreds of millions in annual interest payments. I want to thank Senate President Don Harmon and House Speaker Chris Welch for being true partners in hammering out a responsible, compassionate budget. Over the last few weeks, and especially over the last 48 hours, we engaged in a true give and take, which led to genuine compromise. And it honestly helped that we all came into this process committed to a fiscally responsible spending plan that improved our state's finances and helped our people in an hour of genuine need. I'm not sure how far back in Illinois' contentious budget-making history you would have to go to find a process and a product quite as good as this one. But I think it's a tremendous example of what can be accomplished with responsible democratic leadership. I hope it will provide a light of hope and help for our citizens in the months to come. And now I'd like to introduce the Senate President, Don Harmon. Mr. President.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I want to thank not only Governor Pritzker and Speaker Welch for their great work, but the entire General Assembly for working together through this process. It has been a year unlike just about any other, and it has produced a budget unlike any other in recent history. We've paid our bills, saw our credit rating improve, are investing in our priorities, and have the ability to send money back to taxpayers. Heading into this process, Senate Democrats had a set of guiding priorities. As the governor said, a responsible, balanced budget was vital. We've got that. Investment in key priorities like education and human services were also key. We've got that too. And when it came to providing relief, we wanted to get something back to as many taxpayers as possible. And you see that with the child-centric income tax refund that should send money back to more than 90% of Illinois taxpayers. It's $50 per person and $100 per child up to 3 children. Similarly, our caucus came up with the idea of adding tax-free back-to-school shopping, knowing that it's a direct, tangible benefit for households across the state. That too is in this budget. And lawmakers in both chambers wanted to see an expansion of the Earned Income Tax Credit, and we accomplished that in this budget too. This conversation about helping taxpayers began with and builds upon the solid budget Governor Pritzker put forward to provide $1 billion in relief at the gas pump, grocery store, and with property taxes. And that's all in this budget as well. This is a great budget that reflects the needs and priorities of the people of this great state. We've gone through some unique times, and together the last couple of years, it's perhaps fitting that we have a unique budget that is the result of working together like never before. I look forward to voting for it and having it signed into law so that our state can continue to move forward. It's my pleasure to yield the podium to my friend and the House Speaker, Chris Welch.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good afternoon, everyone. It is truly an honor and a privilege to be standing here with the governor and my friend, the Senate President, Don Harmon. I'm thrilled to stand up here alongside them, my fellow Democratic leaders, announcing that we've reached a deal on a fiscally responsible budget that balances the needs of people across this state. This is what collaborative leadership looks like. This is what cooperation looks like. This is what it looks like when you have people that are willing to work together and compromise. This budget is balanced. It pays all of our bills and will continue putting Illinois on that path of financial surety. This is going to be a budget that we can all be proud about. It also responds to the difficult times many people and families across this state find themselves in now with the rising cost of inflation. This budget will say, Illinoisans, we hear you. In this budget, we're freezing the gas tax, cutting the grocery tax, and providing relief on property taxes. All of this in direct response to inflationary pressures so many hard-working Illinoisans are feeling today. When this budget passes, the governor and the legislature will be saying, Illinoisans, we hear you. This budget invests in critical resources like our healthcare systems and industries that were hardest hit by the pandemic, as well as public safety. When this budget passes, Illinoisans will know that we hear them. We're also permanently expanding the Earned Income Tax Credit and the allocation for the Local Government Distributive Fund, which hasn't happened in almost a decade. I want to thank my Chief Budgeteer, Leader Greg Harris, the House Budget Negotiation Team and our staff, as well as Senate President Don Harmon, Governor Pritzker, and their staffs as well. They have worked incredibly hard to get us to this point today. I'm incredibly proud of this budget and to get it passed and sent to the governor by tomorrow. When has that happened? Illinoisans, we hear you.